Welcome to Watch Symposium. I'm Austin. Alright, so the A serial GMT Master 2, let's set it. Let's make a day of it, or at least a video of it. Now, in the last video, linked in the description, I give you guys a bit of a trivia question. And what's the difference between the dial of the A serial and P serial? And here's the answer. All right, so if you look at the A serial, check out the minute markers at the 5, 10, 20, 25, 30, and so on. They are Roman numerals. They have serifs. Also, you can't really see it now, but GMT Master 2 is written in serifs. Now, the later dials, for example, on the P serial, the minute markers at the 5, 10, 20, 25, 30, and so on are thicker, but they don't have serifs. Also, the GMT Master 2 is not written in serifs. It's sans serif font. And kind of on a side note, the printing is a little rougher on these earlier dials. It's kind of interesting when you zoom in with a loop. They're just not, the paint is a little bit jagged. It's kind of interesting to see. You don't really notice it here, but yeah, that's the way it is. Now, it's kind of interesting. When it comes to these Swiss-made dials, there are actually 3 variations, and that's not including the anomalies like the stick dials. But you've got the earlier or earliest versions, like this, and then the P serial, and then they change a little bit later when you get up to the, D's and Z's and M's. And there are actually 2 variations of the Swiss-only dial. So, kind of interesting stuff. All right, so let's set the watch. Now first, I need to wind it. And when it comes to setting this, you set the 24-hour hand first, all right? But let's see how many winds it takes to get it going. Or about 24. All right, we have to decide where to put the 24-hour hand. Do we want to set it to Greenwich Mean Time or the time zone that I want, which is Eastern Standard Time? Now, of course, if this was a 16700 straight GMT, then that wouldn't be an option because the local hour hand and the 24-hour hand are connected. But we can separate the 24-hour hand and the local hour hand so we can have more options with the GMT Master 2. So this is an all black. So I think I might set this to GMT time, because if you have a bicolored bezel, you set it to GMT time, and then when it's at the 12, and then you adjust the bezel so it reads the Eastern Standard Time. Well, if it's a bicolored bezel, it's going to be sort of, the colors are going to be crooked, so to speak. But on an all black, I think GMT time is great because, well, it's still going to be crooked. That's the thing. Okay, I've rethought it here on camera. I'm going to set it to Eastern Standard Time, okay? So that's what we need to do, and it is 11 o'clock. It's actually 11:44 at night. I usually go forward and then I come back right here. And if I can make a complaint about Rolex watches, it's that when you push in the crown, sometimes the hand jumps a little bit. And, not anything like a Timex Q. It jumps all over the place when you push the crown in. But Vostocks are pretty good about that. They pretty much stay put. But here we go. All right. So it's running, and you can see I was actually setting it to this, all right, and push it in all the way, and then pop it out to, I guess that's the second position, and we can jump the local hour hand. Now it's the 8th, so let's we'll go forward. No quick set on the GMT Master 2s, but the regular GMTs have the quick set. Just have to do it this way, which is kind of fun. And you can go backwards as well. You know, some watches you're not supposed to go backwards when you're setting them. It's supposedly not good for the watch, but GMT Master 2s are fun. You can do that. When it comes to the 3186 movement as opposed to the 3185 movement, which this one has, then there's a little bit of a difference as to how many rotations it takes to get the local hour hand around. So for example, okay, that gets it about halfway around. So anyway, the 3186 movement will be a little bit different. Also, this, you can see it kind of wiggles the 24-hour hand. This is the wiggle test you're looking at, and that wiggle shows that it's the 3185 movement. The 3186 movement doesn't really affect that 24-hour hand. Okay, so here we are. It's the 8th. See the time right here. It's in the afternoon, so there we are. Now, I like to go ahead one and then come back because, let me do that again, and come back because it pushes down better. It's hard to explain. If you have a GMT Master 2, you might know what I'm talking about, but when you push it down, then you can wind it. All right. Sometimes if you just are going forward and you stop it and you push it down, it's like it doesn't catch, it doesn't go back to that first position, and when you go to wind it, it'll shoot forward that local hour hand. Anyway, just a little bit of a hack I've come up with. So there we go, and pretty much perfect, I'd say. Although I think that minute hand did jump a little bit, so I'll have to correct that later. But hey, good enough. We're not going to worry about it in this video. I'll do the OCD stuff off camera. How about that? All right, there we go. So I'll be wearing this for a while. I think I'm going to take it to RSC, get a Coke, put on it at some point, and then before I put it away, I think I'm going to have them put on a Pepsi. And the Pepsi they put on will be different because, again, these are the thin font, and this came with a Pepsi insert, but it's the fat font with the serifs. So I'll put on a newer Pepsi, which I'm sure they're going to ask about it. They'll say, well, you brought it in with a Pepsi, what happened? So we'll have to see how I deal with that. You know, part of me says that I should just say, look, that has the fat font with the serifs, and I'd like one with Pepsi insert with a thin font, which is a reasonable request, but they might say, well, we can't really allow you to double up. So I'm thinking to go more the corrupt route and just say, I lost it again. You know, it's a shame that I have to lie about it, but, you know, they kind of force you to, perhaps. So thanks for watching. Take care. Let me know what you think. See you next time. All right, bonus video. Look at this. When you look at it head on, I actually did get it pretty perfect on those minute markers. When you look at it like that, it doesn't really look so, but okay. Bye now.